Now Brian Moeller's got to be the stopper against a team that is hitting .305, the Cleveland Indians. Einar Diaz is a hitter, and from the number 9 spot in the order, these Cleveland Indians have a slugging percentage of .539. That's from their last spot in the order. Ball wrapped over to short for Davy Cruz. Now, just to put that in perspective, the average American League's cleanup man isn't even slugging .500. Not even close to that. It's about .470. The Indians' number 9 guy is at .539.
I guess you don't want to look at that if you're the Tigers, do you?
Tough not to, though. You know, the Indians.
Well, but you still got to pitch your game if you're Brian Moeller. You still got to put the leather on him. And you still got to score a run.
There's a strike to Kenny Lofton, and as far as the Indians are concerned, this is the catalyst for the runs that they've been scoring.
See, Kenny Lofton likes to be on the road.
But even at home, he's been drawing walks. For Kenny Lofton, really any leadoff hitter, that's the key. Look at the Tigers, 8 walks in the leadoff spot this year. Lofton by himself has nearly tripled that. And the number that flashed on there for the Tigers said the .280 on base percentage from the leadoff spot in the order.
I mean, this is huge. You can see the walks have a lot to do with it. The average has a lot to do with it. It's one of the areas that the Tigers were hoping going into the year that Brian Hunter would fill, and Brian's since been moved on to Seattle. And that's something that it's something they need to address. You need to find somebody that's going to be patient at the top of the order to set the table.
Line to foul by Kenny Lofton. They have put together, as we've talked about already, kind of an all-star team with Lofton, Vizquel, the 2 Alomars, Ramirez, Thome, Justice, Fryman. Virtually everybody in their lineup has been to an all-star game. And now the team's for sale. You got $800 million lying around. You could have the Cleveland Indians, Gib.
I think it's too much. Who would pay $800 million for the Indians?
Somebody's about to pay $800 million for the
It's
Washington
worth
Redskins.
$800 million if you have 308 straight sellouts. But what if you don't have a sellout? What if things go back to the way they used to? I mean, that sale price is solely determined upon success.
Right.
I looked at a chart. If you win, you make, it makes sense. But if you don't, I mean, the onus is totally on playing 600-700 ball.
Well, if he could get $600 or $700 million, considering that Richard Jacobs bought the team for $35 million back in 1986.
And sold stock offering for $60 million just a couple years ago.
And these numbers are beyond our scope, but I mean, he's got a chance to make about 20 times back on his investment.
And just think, the Dodgers sold last year with stadium, with real estate in the Dominican Republic, in Vero Beach, for $350 million. It's already doubled.
Apparently. Lofton clips it foul, still 3-2. Well, that's the asking price. We'll see if it slides down a little bit. And for all the people that are knocking baseball right now economically, it is apparently a seller's market. I mean, there are people out there that wouldn't mind investigating the chance to own the Cleveland Indians.
Well, you got Oakland. They're presently getting ready to have a ownership change. Nobody balked at the expansion teams a couple years ago. So even though they say pay attention to what they do,
pretty nice at bat here by Kenny Lofton. A 10th pitch of this at bat forthcoming from Brian Moeller. Well, we'll go to number 11 momentarily. We've seen a lot of these kind of at-bats on this homestand. Jason McDonald of the Oakland A's had an 11-pitch at-bat, and Jose Macias, in only his second big league at-bat for the Tigers, hung in there for 12 the other night.
We're going to have over-unders on how many pitches.
I say end it right here. No, I'll duck, and then we'll do it again. The Indians have a guy, Bartolo Colon, a hard-throwing right-hander, who was involved in a 20-pitch at-bat last year with Ricky Gutierrez of the Houston Astros. There's Bartolo Colon, and he just served up fastball after fastball. Gutierrez would foul him away. The walk. Boy, Kenny Lofton earned that.
Let's take a look at the sequence. We're talking about leadoff hitters. Well, here's Cleveland's leadoff hitter, and it's your job to stay alive and set the table. We sequenced him. Let's just, this is the way it's supposed to be done. Patiently, the first one. See, he was thinking about a bunt. Now he's just surviving. He's got 2 strikes on him. See him not pulling off the ball, just making sure he stays on it. Fouls a tough pitch off there. Another good pitch there. Fouls it off. And the walk.
And now back live, Omar Vizquel takes high. It's 1-0 to him. And that's precisely what a leadoff man, when he is right, is doing for the rest of the team. He's wearing out the starting pitcher, and now Vizquel goes up there thinking, hey, this guy's going to be a little bit gassed right now. I'm going to wait it out myself. Ground ball, right field, base hit, sure enough. Lofton speeds around to third. And for the 3rd consecutive half inning, a team has a couple on base with less than 2 out.
I'm going to tell you what Omar Vizquel was thinking with Kenny Lofton on first base with 9 out of 10 steal attempts. He's thinking fastball. He gets it. He's thinking hole between the first and second baseman. He gets it. Now you've got first and third, 1 out.
And if you're Brian Moeller, you've now got to deal with a guy who's hitting .339 in Roberto Alomar, and a guy that had come in 4 for 5 against Brian Moeller.
Let's take a look at today's Toyota player profile. Sure turns a slick double play. Happy to be back with his brother. And finally, after 15 second basemen in the last 2.5 years, the Indians have found a way to stop that carousel.
Yeah, ever since they got rid of Carlos Baerga, they figured they could just plug in anybody and they'd be fine. Well, didn't quite work out that way. They went out and spent the money to get Roberto Alomar, and he has paid some dividends. He's hitting .336. Tiger infield poised for the double play. But this ball shooting out there to right center, base hit. Higginson over to backhand, a run scores, and it's still runners at the corners. Cleveland ahead 1-0. Now we mentioned Alomar's had the history of success against Moeller, and he's got Moeller a bit on the ropes right here again, kind of tuckered out from that at bat with Lofton.
Robbie Alomar waiting on his pitch. He gets the pitch. That's what you're supposed to do. You drive it. Bobby Higginson makes a fine play in right center field to cut this off. Hold Omar Vizquel to third base, and also keeping Alomar at first base to keep the double play attack.
And now you're looking at why Manny Ramirez is leading Major League Baseball with 44 runs batted in. Here he comes with runners at first and third, just 1 out. A gold-plated RBI opportunity. Manny Ramirez, just 26 years old, Gibby, and his numbers just keep getting better with every year he spends in this game. Ball and a strike to count to him.
Well, Manny Ramirez, his strengths are fastballs from right-handed pitchers, fastballs from left-handed pitchers, sliders. He just doesn't have many weaknesses.
Tremendously quick wrists.
Beats on the fastball.
And you know, when you've got those quick wrists, I think Mike Piazza is an excellent example of this. That explains how a guy can wait back on the ball, be able to go to right field and still hit it for power, which Manny Ramirez does. Dean Palmer's kind of like that too.
Well, and he's very hard to defense. Drives the ball every part of the field, left field, center field, right field, both gaps. And generally, when he makes contact, it is going to go to the outfield. Not a lot of weak grounders from Manny Ramirez.
He puts on a show in batting practice too, doesn't he?
Well, if you're going to come down to a park and watch batting practice, Manny Ramirez would be a guy you wanted to have your young son or daughter watch. He's always got an idea, doesn't overswing, doesn't roll over the ball, has a game plan.
2 balls and a strike, and he's just gaining more and more confidence too. He's hitting in this cleanup spot in the order where he says he was never really comfortable the last couple of years. He felt like that was such a big pressure position. He went to Mike Hargrove, said, I'd really rather bat 3rd or 5th. And now he is very comfortable as a number 4 man. His 44 runs batted in would indicate. Rip on a miss, 2-2.
Well, after Albert Bell exited Cleveland, there was some speculation on how much impact that departure would have on Cleveland, but Manny Ramirez has certainly shown that he is the answer.
Tiger infield looking to turn 2, get out of the inning. And really, Gibby, I would think there's 2 ways you can look at a player not wanting to hit in a certain spot in the order. You can say, well, shouldn't Ramirez just hit where he's told to? Or you can say that, you know, like Jim Leyland does, don't put a player in a position he's uncomfortable with.
Well, I think you put a guy where you want him to see how he reacts to it.
Well, Leyland with the Pirates and then with the Marlins was kind of famous for that. If Bobby Bonilla would come over and say, hey, I don't like doing this, I'm not comfortable doing that. Leyland, who knew Bonilla from his Pirates days, figured, well, look, I'm not going to win a fight with this guy. I'll make him comfortable. That'll make him a better player.
So when Sparky put me in right field on opening day, I guess I should have said, I'm not comfortable?
Yeah, but Sparky would have said, I don't care. Get your butt out there to right field.
Well, that's what he did say. And actually, I felt like right field was the right place for me because we played 82 of our 162 games, 81 of our 162 games here in right field, and because of the weaker arm that I had, even if I'm playing deep in right field, I'm playing shallower than I would in most parks. So, I mean, that's what he was thinking of. He didn't see why it should affect my hitting any different. So you never know. Managers look at the game in many different ways. They make their decisions, and I think that you try and adapt to it as a player. It's your job to let the manager push the buttons, and if you're one of those buttons, do what you're told.
Strike 3 called outside corner. That was a long at bat too. With Moeller stepping off, Ramirez stepping out. Finally, Mo wins out.
Again, we've seen kids here. You want to look at how Brian Moeller's working. Starts him off away. Turning that ball down and in. Back away. That one's supposed to be inside. This one's supposed to be in. Didn't get it there. You see Ramirez trying to go to right. Back away. And Larry Barnett with a favorable strike zone. 2 down.
So now the inning left to Jim Thome.
I give Ramirez credit for just walking away on that one.
You would have made a little noise?
I don't know. It would have been a little hard.
Kenny Lofton battled his way to a walk with 1 out in this inning. Vizquel singled him to 3rd. Then Robbie Alomar brought in the first run of the game. It's now 1st and 3rd, 2 out. Little check swing foul by Jim Thome. And with Omar Vizquel at 3rd base, this is a guy that doesn't mind just dancing down the line, trying to distract Brian Moeller, trying to distract anybody out there on the field.
Trying to entice the balk, especially when you get to 2 outs. Now what you hope is when you rush down the line like that you hope that you distract the pitcher and he stops his motion without stepping off the rubber first.
Vizquel right now is about halfway to home plate. Pitch is inside, 2-1, and Vizquel, after coming down the line, he'll kind of trot back towards third, but he'll still just stare right out at the pitcher, just make him uncomfortable.
I mean, this is pretty good, but he knows he can be as far off as this guy, because this is the guy covering. Dean Palmer's the guy covering the bag. Now Palmer should at least deke him to get him to go back. I'm uncomfortable with that.
Count balloons to 3-1 to Jim.
I'm sorry, the Cat. Dean Palmer DH in the night, or you put on a play. Or you do maybe the quick pitch out. Cat comes running in.
But Vizquel puts himself in a position where a ball that just squirts a little bit away from Bill Hasselman, he might just trot home and score. Ripped foul, 3-2. This Cleveland Ball Club has won 45 of the last 58 games they've played against the Tigers, going back to '93. But as the Tigers beat back the Yankees 4 weeks ago, they're hoping they can reverse a trend and excite the fans here in Detroit.
Well, 3-2, 2 out. Runner will be going. Might see Brian Moeller fake to third and go back to first. Nope.
He strikes out Jim Thome. 2 strikeouts to get out of the last inning, and 2 to get out of the third. Although a run has scored, the strikeouts of Ramirez and Thome save it from being any worse than 1-0. Cleveland leads at 1-0 as the Tigers come up now in the bottom of the third, and we'll be with you again tomorrow afternoon. The Tigers and the Indians going at it again. Dave Malicki against Dave Burba. Live coverage begins at 12:30 right here on Fox Sports Net Detroit. Sunday afternoon we'll have the series finale. Jeff Weaver and Jarrett Wright. A couple of exciting young right-handers. And a slightly older right-hander, Charles Nagy, out there tonight, trying to scooch his record up to 4-3 for a Cleveland team that is 24-9. Their best start ever in 99 years of baseball. Strike to Bill Hasselman. Now, we're told that they've started 23-10 a couple times. When they did it back in 1941, they went on to finish under 500. But when they did it in 1954, some of you might remember, they had a pretty nice year. That ball is going to get into center, a base hit for Hasselman. Second straight inning, the Tigers have had the leadoff man on. Bill Hasselman, now a .320 hitter.
Well, Hass is just a solid, consistent guy behind the plate. You figure this offensive start he's had is such a bonus. Tigers again with the leadoff runner on. Can we score this time?
Nagy to Davy Cruz, showing bunt, and the pitch curls in for a strike. Now Bill Hasselman, and we mentioned he's hitting .320 right now. But you know, last year he hit .314. It's just the guy plays so seldom that you don't realize that he's actually a pretty darn good hitter. The bunt, and that is foul. So now you figure the bunt play is wiped off. It's 0-2.
That tells you a little bit about LP. He wants to get a runner in scoring position early in this game, wants to pick up a run, and that's a fundamental of the game that you must execute. And Davy Cruz right there doesn't get the job done. You want to beat the Cleveland Indians, you execute.
And what's funny, well, I guess it's funny for them. It's not funny for the rest of the league. But for Cleveland this year, they have not been executing very well, and still they're 24-9. They had a game against the Orioles a few days ago where the bullpen was coughing up runs. They made 4 errors, and they still somehow won the game.
Well, but they've got a little more offense to feature right now. The Tigers aren't doing that, so that's when these things, the fundamental part of the game is even more so important. And, you know, you wonder why bunting and the fundamentals, you don't see them as much in the game today. And I've commented in previous telecasts, you know, I think it's just a home run game. Everybody thinking home run. You just don't practice it. It's not something that you very seldom have a 0-0 game where it's important to put a bunt down and make sure you advance the guy.
Cruz down on strikes.
That gets me into a whole other one of my suggestions for the game. And, you know, I like the 0-0 game. I like the 1-0 game. I think there's more suspense. I think it puts more onus on fielding properly, not making mental errors when you're an outfielder and picking the ball up, getting the guy over, bunting. Call me crazy, and I like the game to move quicker. It's easy for me to say because I don't hit anymore, but I'd like them to see the raise the mound up and possibly move it in. Give the pitcher more of an advantage. Because then you put the fundamentals of the game and the mechanics of the game back at the forefront, and then you're not just sitting around waiting for the home run all the time.
But let me play devil's advocate and say that,
go ahead.
Okay, if you're the Cleveland Indians and you've got a team that looks like it's going to hit about 240 home runs, why not sit back and wait for one of those 240?
Well, that's my point. Because of all the expansion, there's more teams, there's more players, the talent pool is diluted, and obviously Cleveland's got a pretty good corner on the market. So how do you make the diluted talent better? The diluted pitching? I mean, when, you know, in the hockey game, when there's the original 6, there was the competition and the talent was better. I mean, you know, against each other. Now, I just think you've got a lot of players here that wouldn't be in the major leagues 10 years ago. And that's the way it is. So I just see it as a way to level the playing field a little bit.
He usually rips and he misses. He couldn't get it. And now there are 2 down here in the Tiger third. Hasselman still at first base. Second straight strikeout for Nagy, his 3rd of the game.
I know some are out there saying I'm crazy, but I'm entitled to my opinion.
Well, but you know what?
I just happen to have a mic in front of me so I can tell you.
But you know, the Tigers, as they designed Comerica, the new ballpark that they'll move into next year. I mean, Randy Smith and John McHale both were thinking kind of along with you that, look, everybody in the American League is building their teams that way. Let's build our ballpark a little quirky, and maybe we can develop a team that's a little bit different. We'll play some alley ball. We'll hit a lot of doubles and triples while everybody else is trying to golf home runs over short porches. We'll pitch, we'll play D, and that's something different that we can do in the American League that might win some ball games. Good pitch rolling over the corner, 1-1.
But see, an ideal way to win a game to me is a walk, a wild pitch, bunt the guy over, sacrifice fly. That's wonderful to me. I think you're in more suspense with a 0-0 game than you are 2-1.
Ball bobbled.
8-7.
Or shall we say, for example, 17-16. We saw games kind of like that last year.
Exactly. 1-0 Indians. Going to the 4th.
Heading now to the 4th inning. And the Aflac trivia question on a beautiful Friday night. Who was the last player to hit for the cycle at Tiger Stadium?
Last player, not necessarily a Tiger.
And we'll get you the answer coming up shortly. We'll get that in the bottom of the 4th. But first to Cleveland, the half of the 4th inning. Will Cordero coming off a 13 out of 29, a homestand for the Indians. And Brian Moeller, who's already walked 3, misses to grow it to 1-0. Little chopper up the line and spinning foul. And Will Cordero, you know, a lot of people, especially, oh, no, Larry Barnett's not checking that baseball for what we think he's checking,
No,
is he? No.
that ball was scuffed, and that's the kind of ball, if you're a catcher, you want to pick up and throw back to your pitcher.
There's Brian Moeller, inning by inning, but
a lot of pitches.
And just to get back to the thought on Cordero, ever since all of the allegations about his problems off the field, the domestic abuse, there are teams out there that very willingly took a pass on Wil Cordero. The Indians, which really, I mean, you can make the case that's the team that didn't need any more offense. They took a shot. Moeller juggles it. He makes the catch. Brian Moeller. Wil Cordero looked like he was taking that one up the middle, but Brian Moeller says don't think so.
Certainly was, and you're going to see what Brian Moeller was looking at right here. I think his bat's off the end of the bat. See Mo, he got a good follow through, so he's in good position to make the play right here. But you know, you look at Cordero, whatever, they taken the chance on him, and you come over to a Cleveland Indians team that's very stable, obviously very successful over the last years. And if you're Cleveland, you're thinking this is a setting that would be good for him. You know, he's going to fit in well, feel comfortable, and you're seeing a lot of success from him earlier.
Well, Wil Cordero got a huge recommendation from the brothers Alomar. They all know each other from Puerto Rico. Robbie and Sandy Alomar kind of pushing the door open for him with management. And he has burst right through that door. Hitting .345, line shot, easily crawling after it. And his throw will basically be a ground ball wide of first base. He did a nice job to knock it down. It'll be an infield hit for Dave Justice.
Damian Easley almost with a awesome play right here in this ball. He reaches and dives. It hits him off the heel of his glove. You can see up there by the wrist. Not enough time to get up and make that throw. See right here, all you can do is dive. Hard to predict exactly where that ball, and I can tell you that ball was knuckling. It wasn't just straight, and that's why Damian had a hard time centering that ball in his glove.
And you see Damian with that circular bandage. He had a cyst removed on his off day.
Sounds like a riot on your off day.
Well, it's not quite golfing, is it? That ball is hit in the air to left. And Encarnacion puts it away. The Tigers technically have an off day coming up on Monday, but they will spend it in Grand Rapids. They're going to Old Kent Park for the exhibition game against their West Michigan Whitecap affiliate. Seth Greisinger will pitch in that game.
For the Tigers?
We don't know yet. I was talking to Seth about that today. He says, I'm not sure if I'm going to pitch for West Michigan or against West Michigan. I just know I'm going to throw about 70 pitches and see how it feels. He's made one rehab assignment already down at AAA and pitched pretty well. So with Pryman retired, here's Einar Diaz, the backup catcher who's getting a start tonight. Night game tonight, day game tomorrow. You figured that Sandy Alomar would play just one of those. Over to short for Davy Cruz, and he'll go the short way to end the inning. One out single and nothing else for the Cleveland Indians. They continue to lead the Tigers 1-0 on Fox Sports Net Detroit. At Tiger Stadium, where our score is 1-0 Indians. And our Aflac trivia question, the last player to hit for the cycle here at Tiger Stadium. It was Alex Rodriguez. Travis Fryman did it as a Tiger. But that was a little bit before Alex Rodriguez, who is back in the lineup for Seattle tonight, we're told. Travis Fryman turned the trick back in '93 for the Detroit Tigers. This is the anniversary of the night that Kirk Gibson had a 5-hit game, but it was not for the cycle. That was against the Minnesota Twins back in 1982. It didn't get you anything, but happy anniversary.
Nothing at all.
Nope. You can go out and get you a card, I guess. Congratulations on the 17th anniversary of your 5-hit game, partner.
You're weird.
They carry those. I've seen them.
You have?
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you show me one.
Alrighty then.
I don't believe you.
I wonder why. 1 ball, 1 strike to Higginson. They got cards for everything else, though.
Like for Mother's Day?
Especially for Mother's Day. Higgins into left field. Going back on the ball is Justice. He's got it. Saw a lot of moms and kids running the bases out here at Tiger Stadium this past Sunday. Hopefully everybody had a great time on Mother's Day '99. I remember Mickey Mantle was stuck on 499 home runs. It seemed like forever. And he talked to his mom on Mother's Day, and he hit number 500. Finally, on Mother's Day, Alan Trammell was telling us that Mother's Day was always pretty kind to him on the field. Strike to Dean Palmer. The champion of Mother's Day hitting, at least for a while, was Andy Van Slyke. It was very tough to explain, but there was a stretch of something like 6 Mother's Days where he went a combined 18 for 24 or something like that. Pure coincidence, but for a talkative guy like Andy Van Slyke, that was plenty of good fodder for the columnists. Two balls, 2 strikes to Palmer. Again, he's forced to DH tonight. That's the reason that Greg Jeffries is not in the Tiger lineup. And Greg, I tell you what, he's dealing with a lot of complex issues right about now. First and foremost, the fact that he's hitting a .180. You know, this is a guy that was supposed to be a Hall of Famer. You know, he came to the major leagues at 20 years old, and everybody projected greatness for him. Here he is in his early 30s.
High expectations.
Very high expectations. And you know, the one thing that Greg, and he was dripping with sincerity when he said this, Palmer a check swing foul. He says he can't get over how kind the fans in Detroit have been to him. I mean, this guy has played for the Mets.
Would you blame him? Right.
He's played for the Phillies, where if you get off to a 180 start, and believe it, he's done that before. I mean, they are all over him.
And he's endured it. Maybe that's what we should do, because he always comes out of it.
But he says it's incredible. I mean, he'll go back to the dugout after his 4th out of a night, and he'll see people clapping for him, and he'll hear them saying, "Hey, had a way to hang in there, Greg." And he just says that's phenomenal. That, you know, he could be coming here as a new player, struggle this bad, and still have players say, "Hey, you'll make it, don't worry." Dean Palmer draws the walk. And Tony Clark coming up. But you know, for Jeffries, Gibby, I would think the other thing that he's dealing with more than anything right now is his whole designated hitters issue. He knew when he signed here that that would be his role. But he is a longtime National Leaguer. He's never had to do this on a daily basis before. That is, sit out entirely or DH. He might not see 15 innings in the field this year, and that's tough to do.
Well, where it's hard is if you're hitting 188 and you're playing the field, you can still go out and make a great play in the field. When you're DH, you just got to sit on it and wait for your next at bat, and that is tough.
Well, and he was recalling in Philadelphia, a game that he went 0 for 5. He threw out a couple of runners from left field, including Bobby Bonilla at the plate to end the game, give the Phillies a win, and he ended up feeling great on a game in which he went 0 for 5. And that's ironic that Bonilla would be the guy he threw out, because if there's a patron saint for guys that just never could get acclimated to DHing, it was Bobby Bonilla. He talked himself right out of Baltimore because he let it be known to Davey Johnson, I'm just not comfortable DHing. I've got too much nervous energy. I can't do this.
Well, I know today when Greg Jeffries walked in the clubhouse and looked at the lineup card and he wasn't in the lineup, that there was a day when he went and reacted a little differently than he did today.
Well, Greg admitted to us before the game, you know what, a few years ago I would have gone into Larry Parrish's office, I would have turned over his desk. But you know, and he said, I don't mean this to sound trite, but you know, I've got a family now. There are parents of children in Kosovo that don't care that I'm not playing, and he says, I don't mean it to sound like I don't care, but it's not the most important thing in the world. I can't let it affect me like that. Tony Clark up over top of it. He's out of there. Boy, Nagy changing speeds, tipping the ball all over the place. 4 strikeouts.
Well, you're going to look at this right here. It's that fork ball. See, it drops right out of the sight. Check that guy.
Yeah, where's Larry Rothschild to go out there and whisper in the ear of Larry Barnett when we need him?
A good split finger right here. Just drops. That's a good one there. Coming with 2 strikes. Hard for Tony to lay off.
Gabe Kapler up there, 1 ball, no strikes. And Gibby, just to finish a thought on Greg Jefferies, you know, in the new ballpark where you'll have a big clubhouse, you'll have a hitting cage that you can escape to during the game to burn off some nervous energy. That might make a difference for Greg Jefferies. He just kind of feels caged right now. It's a small dugout, not a lot of room to walk around or even sit for that matter. There's not a ping pong table or anything like that in the clubhouse where he can go in and grab a clubhouse kid and say, hey, hit this ball around with me just so I can stay busy.
They do have a punching bag down there. Didn't Gonzo buy that last year?
Yes. Well, that was
Luis Gonzalez bought him a punching bag.
I thought he took that with him to Phoenix, though.
And from time to time, I think they draw different faces on that punching bag.
Pitches up and outside to Kapler, 2-1. Well, Luis Gonzalez has been punching more than just punching bags out there in Arizona.
Yeah, hasn't been punching out. He's been hitting bullets all over the field. Off to a great start.
Leading the National League in hitting. Hitting in every game in which he's played so far.
Oh, he got him!
Deep drive, left field, Gabe Kapler, gone!
This great. Here Josh and I are just having a little conversation and paying attention to the game, and Gabe Kapler full extension. You see him getting his hands in, getting his arms out, putting the Tigers on top, 2-1.
Upper tank for Kapler, his 4th Tigers home run. Last year's minor league player of the year, settling in the show. Strike 2 Encarnacion.
That's why Gabe Kapler was brought up to the Tigers. Chance to have the big impact.
And that's the trade-off the Tigers knew they were making. We've talked about the lack of production from the leadoff spot since they've dealt Brian Hunter. Encarnacion lacing one to center, dropping in front of Lofton for a hit. They wanted some more thunder in the middle of that lineup, and they went with Kapler to provide it. He's done exactly that here in the 4th inning tonight.
Well, isn't this ironic? Last inning was the first time in 41 innings the Tigers have had back-to-back hits. And here we go to the next inning. The 2nd time in 2 innings that we've had back-to-back hits. Juan Encarnacion, and let's keep a good eye on him. Charles Nagy very good at holding the runners close, but you know Encarnacion's going to want to run.
Juan, in fact, has more steals than Kenny Lofton at this point. 10-9.
And I'm going to tell you, Juan is going to have a hard time getting a good jump off of Nagy. Nagy changes it up a lot. He changes his delivery up. He's going to hold the ball on him.
Check swing and a strike to Hasselman.
Take a look from over here. You watch Nagy, sometime he'll slide step. Juan gets a pretty good lead. See how many times he throws over.
Got a good runner, you got a hot hitter. Nice combination for the Tigers with 2 out in the 4th. Breaking ball, strike 2. Encarnacion is top 5 in the league in steals, but he also leads the American League in number of times caught.
Take a look here. 0-2. Not a good count to run on. Indians could be pitching out. And you see Nagy right there. Now I'm thinking he kind of gave him the easy throw over. Could he be setting him up for something? Nagy pointing at the balloon.
Travis Fryman is going to go out there and pop it.
Spike it. Spike it. Yep.
Litterbug, pick it up. Oh, and 2 still to Hasselman. Tigers have taken a 2-1 lead on the Kapler home run.
It's a token throw over.
Even with all the throws over, the slowdown right now by Nagy, the fans still buzzing. Detroit fans able to outshout the Cleveland fans for the first time tonight. Got him. Hasselman becomes a 5th Nagy strikeout victim. But the Tigers have taken the lead. Gabe Kapler went upper deck for his 4th home run this season. 2-1 Detroit at the end of 4. Tigers now lead first place Cleveland 2-1. We go to the 5th inning, and your game summary tonight brought to you by Comerica Bank. Brian Moeller back out on the mound and has been pretty good despite 3 walks. Big hit in the ball game we just saw moments ago, that from Gabe Kapler. Tigers do have 5 hits tonight, but still just a .220 average for the homestand. And thank goodness the pitching has been very consistent. Gabe Kapler wearing that wedding ring on the outside of the jersey on that thick necklace out there. Lofton sprays one out of play. A pitcher can't get away with wearing one of those. They'll tell him to tuck it in his jersey. I haven't seen anybody this year tell Gabe to get that necklace tucked in tight. It was bouncing all around the bases as he was running out that home run.
In the middle 80s, that was the big thing with pitchers. They couldn't even have their chain outside of their jersey. So, of course, Jack Morris had to make a point to make sure his was out. Just to make him put it in all the time. You have to ask Jack about that next time he's on the telecast.
Lofton, fly ball right field. Bobby Higginson back, waiting for it. He makes the catch, making sure that it didn't scrape the facade. Lest Larry Barnett say that that's a home run.
Well, wind blowing straight in from right field, so football's real high in the going to right field. Probably not going to carry tonight, but it will carry down low. It's called the opposite effect.
Moeller to Omar Vizquel. Now, Vizquel's offense has been fine. In fact, it's been terrific. But surprisingly, his defense has let him down. This is a guy who made only 5 errors all of last year. He's got 6 already in 99. He's got a quadricep problem. And the Indians taking kind of a weird tack with that. They have not put him on the DL. Count 1-2 to Omar. What they'll do is they'll let him play for 3 or 4 days, then sit for a day or 2. He'll play for 3 or 4 more, sit him again. But that quadricep muscle really hasn't healed.
Well, Omar's had an interesting season. Threatened.
Look at this. He literally throws his bat at the ball, easily makes the sliding catch. Got it just before it hit the ground.
Well, Omar threatening not to show up for spring training, but considers differently. And right here is unusual. You'll see Omar he actually throws his bat at this ball and almost fiddles it in. Look at him, just throws the bat. Good pitch from Brian Moeller, had him out front.
Now Roberto Alomar. And a strike called. Folks, be here at Tiger Stadium Sunday. The Tigers conclude the series against the Tribe at 1:05. Visit the Tiger Stadium box office, any Ticketmaster location, or call that number on your screen. Alomar shortens up to count 1-1. Roberto Alomar leading the American League in runs scored. 34 in 34 games played. Fly ball, right field, will hit. 35 runs scored. This one on a home run.
Didn't somebody just say that the wind was blown in from right field?
Didn't seem to matter.
Well, right here, Brian Moeller throws a changeup, and Robbie Alomar, a very good off-speed hitter, down in the zone, but this gentleman's got himself a baseball.
And Roberto Alomar has got himself a 6-for-8 career now against Brian Moeller.
Look how he bends his legs right here and goes down and gets this. See that? Look at him bend his legs. He goes right down. He's kind of guessing changeup. He's waiting for it. Gone. 2 apiece.
And Manny Ramirez to the plate. Thankfully, the bases are clear. That's the one piece of good news for the league's leading RBI man. He's got 44 of them. Tonight, a walk and a strikeout. Hard hit to third. Catalanato gobbles it up. Throws out Manny Ramirez. So Moeller's out of the inning, but not before the Tribe ties it up. Roberto Alomar hits number 6. And halfway through it tonight, the Indians and the Tigers knotted at 2. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Net Detroit, brought to you tonight by Select Care. We're changing healthcare for good. By Capital Mortgage Funding, the best mortgage banker. By Toyota, Toyota every day. And by ABC Warehouse, the closest thing to wholesale. Very pretty night here at the corner. Big crowd.
You notice it's getting bigger. A little congestion on the freeway, probably, with many people coming up from Cleveland. Found that there was only like 5 or 6 freeways closed down right now this time of the year. Isn't that a riot?
Hilarious.
I mean, everywhere you turn. That's a good way to repair your roads. Let's just wait until they totally in disrepair and panic.
Davey Cruz belts one on the ground to third. No, I can't see.
How many people are agreeing with me?
Yeah. Well,
so there's Gibby's topic for tonight. Just wondered if anybody else was noticing that we've had this road problem sneaking up on us. It's really snuck up on us, and it's really here. Any comments?
Well,
email us.
If you have them. FlashNet is the sponsor of that email address. And for all you city planners watching tonight, Damian Easley takes a strike. We got to get those carpool lanes revved up. That'll solve it.
What carpool lanes?
Add a carpool lane.
I didn't see any diamonds. Don't they usually put diamonds in those lanes?
Yep. Pitches low to Easley. 1 ball, 1 strike. I'm actually being very tongue-in-cheek. I can't see carpool lanes really solving it, but
it's one of the ways. Maybe we could run to work. Could run between the cars.
Little squibber foul, 1-2.
Now, when I went out and played with the Dodgers, you know, there was like 4, 5, 6 lanes of traffic when I went to the stadium, and I learned that you never open your door to throw the last part of your drink out, like if you're having water or something on the road, because a motorcyclist may come along and take your door off. So you used to always go between the cars.
Easily down on strikes. Charles Nagy has now struck out 6, and then I believe you learned up in Mount Clemens that you don't throw a half-eaten Egg McMuffin out your window.
That was Mount Pleasant.
Oh, that was in Mount Pleasant. I'm sorry.
That's right. Not half-eaten. Maybe a teaspoonful of Egg McMuffin, because that's littering.
But the long arm of John Law got you, didn't it?
Biodegradable or not, you cannot litter a teaspoonful of egg. out the window.
Catalanato base hit right field. Thome tumbling, trying to knock it down. But the Tigers get themselves a 2-out base hit, and Higginson coming up.
Well, Cat really jumps on this first pitch, and this is what you're supposed to do if you're going to swing at the first pitch. It's good to see Cat do this, and Jim Thome catches a nasty hop. Look at Thome, think he's going to get in front of it. Good thing he didn't. Ball bounces up. Tigers got a shot. Hickey's had a couple good swings tonight. Time to make a call.
You calling right here?
I just said it's time to make a call.
Check swing and on appeal. No sale, says Ed Hickok's down at third.
Well, I remember Nagy, a guy that a time or two a game would always bust you in.
Well, his 6 strikeouts tonight are a season high. His regular season high is, I believe, 10, but he's had a 12 strikeout game in the playoffs. At second base, Alomar, a little frisbee toss. And he does get it over there to the shortstop, Vizquel. Tigers don't score, and we'll play the 6th now, tied at 2.
If you can't wait for closeout on a terrific new car, LeSabre by Buick is ready with a great deal now. The best-selling full-size car in America is giving you $2,500 cash back on all 99s, with $2,500 cash back on Family Circle's Car of the Year. The remaining 99s won't last long. See your Buick dealer now.
Tony's original love, the Blimpie best. Ham, salami, capicola, prosciutini, provolone, choice toppings, all on freshly baked bread. Blimpie, it's a beautiful thing.
Blimpie caters for all occasions. Call Blimpie for your party needs today.
Hi, I'm Dave Silberman.
And I'm Otto Hopma.
Otto and I are the owners of Dave and Otto's Airline Auto Sales.
Dave and I have over 30 years of combined sales experience in the auto industry.
At Dave and Otto's Airline Auto Sales, we offer warranties on all of our vehicles, along with regular and special financing. We carry a full line of autos and trucks, and we feature a vehicle locator service. We can find any car, make, and year.
Whether you're looking for something sporty
or something luxurious,
stop on down to Dave and Otto's Airline Auto Sales for a great deal.
A sandwich should be.
This is Fox Sports Net, Detroit.
2-2 ball game, and we say hello to the kids from the St. Rose School at Perrysburg, Ohio. Jim Schmeichel, the manager of the Tigers clubhouse, and I was watching this proudly on TV. One of his children is in this crowd tonight. I don't know if that's Brian or Jay that's made it out, but Katrina, Brian, and Jay, the 3 Schmeichel kids from Perrysburg, Ohio. Jim Leland's stomping grounds.
That's right, Jim Schmeichel, the manager of the Tigers clubhouse, the best in the major leagues. Trust me, nobody can deny that.
Jim Thome loops one foul. Well, Jim Schmeichel, roll tape, record this for posterity. You know he's in there working hard right now, but with the TV on. The dangerous left-hand swinger Jim Thome against Moeller in the pitch outside.
Let's take a look at the Thominators hit zone. Pretty darn nasty, and this is unusual for a left-handed hitter. A high ball hitter, a little susceptible, down and in, down away. You've got the Dominator, the Thominator. What else other?
How about the Instigator?
That would be you.
No, that would be you. Thome clips one foul back in the Hasselman's Club, 2-2. Paul Molitor used to be called the Igniter.
And he did. In the dirt, there's a guy in the Indians dugout that I think you could rightly call the procrastinator.
back in his playing days. Mike Hargrove, the human rain delay.
Boy, he was. You remember all the activities he used to do before? Every time he stepped out of the box and went through this schematic of things.
Thome down on strikes. Muller's got him. That's his 5th strikeout tonight, trying to hang in there with Nagy, who's got 6.
Well, Jim Thome's strength or fastball, his weakness, splitters from right-handed pitchers, and there you have it. Look, you can see Jim way out in front there.
With 1 out, Will Cordero. And a strike called. Somebody figured it out about Mike Hargrove. Doing the math, 6,500 trips to the plate in his big league career. An average of 4 pitches per plate appearance and 20 seconds of fidgeting between each pitch. They figured that out to be 144 hours. Or in other words, about 6 days that Mike Hargrove spent just fidgeting in a major league batter's box.
Well, then figure how much time I spent yelling at him to get in the box.
That would be 5.5 days. Cordero is out.
I'm serious.
And Dave Justice will come up. Now, folks, he's won more than 900 NBA games, an NCAA championship, and he has his Sixers in the playoffs for the first time in 9 years. Chris Myers goes one-on-one with Larry Brown on this week's Going Deep. Sunday night at 9, only on Fox Sports Net Detroit. The Sixers taking the Orlando Magic to the brink right now. Justice hammers one foul into the big crowd here at Tiger Stadium tonight.
How you feeling tonight, Josh?
Feeling fine, right?
Yeah. I'm just wondering. It's just a really nice atmosphere here. It's beautiful weather. A little electricity in the ballpark. Good way to spend an evening. Where's everybody at from Detroit? We got to get down here and take on those Indian fans.
Got to outshout them. Well, tomorrow they're expecting a huge crowd and more great weather.
Just noticed they were mopping some of the upper deck seats that haven't been used in a while.
A lot of them not since opening day. Strike on the outside corner to Justice. Well, they're talking about a crowd of in the 40,000s for tomorrow. So if you don't have your seats yet, make sure you give the Tigers a call tonight or get out of here nice and early tomorrow.
Still 10,000 left. Supposed to be a beautiful sunny day. Hot dogs are smelling good.
Ground ball, Catalanato backing up, wings it across, and that'll do it. 4 straight retired by Muller since the Alomar home run tied the game. And we're still 2-2. Tigers coming up.